Before we get started on this episode, I just want to let you know this episode is brought to you by Bennett Carroll. And in all of my years of real estate experience, I'm yet to see a lawyer's firm, a conveyancing firm, that've got a vested interest in helping you keep your deals, actually keep them together. And so I've known this company for about 10 years now. I first met Guy Gibbons, the head of this company, back when I was listing and selling real estate. And I tell you, these guys will actually fight to keep your deal together. And they have put together a family membership program for you that I've never seen. So let me just make sure I don't leave anything out here. So first off, if you join at realestaterenegades.com and find the link to the Real Estate Renegades family, you're going to see that they've got a deal for Bennett Carroll. You're going to see a inquire here. So you just push that button to join our little family. They're going to give you free lawyers online. There's a hotline that when you join this little family, and it's free, you'll be able to click a button and on call get free legal advice. That way, when you're out in the field, you won't have someone saying, oh, let me just ask a lawyer. You'll be able to go, bup, 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 there you go, ask whatever you want. They'll be able to give you free behind-the-scenes legal advice through their on-call legal service hotline. They're going to, and this is the thing that I love, save you a bunch of time, all for free on your admin. Meaning, when you become a member of the family, you're just going to send them an email with the listing. They're going to do a free title search. They're going to do a free preparation of your contract and send you your contracts with the owner's name, all of the details, all fully filled out with the searches fully legally done. Not going to cost you a penny. How awesome is that? Just they're wanting to be part of the Real Estate Renegades family, and they are giving you the offer to end all offers by becoming a member. It's completely free, all brought to you by Real Estate Renegades, Bennett Carroll. Go to realestaterenegades.com.au, find the family link where you click there, join the family, won't cost you a penny, and have all of those benefits of free legal advice, free contract preparation, saving you on time, saving you on admin, and actually having a legal firm. If you choose to use them, and there's no obligation, but if you choose to use them, you're going to have a legal firm that's actually in the business of keeping your deals together. So that's Guy Gibbons and the team at Bennett Carroll Solicitors. Australia-wide, find that link now at the realestaterenegades.com website. And before we get started on this week's episode, I just want to let you know this week's episode is also brought to you by Agent Prospecting. So yes, that is a company that I'm involved with. We're literally a team of telemarketers, Facebook advertisers, and other lead generation specialists have been personally trained by me to do your prospecting for you. So for less than the cost of a PA that you're going to have to train to do it the way that I suggest you would do anyway, for less than the cost of that, significantly less, you can have fully trained people, trained by me, employed by me, where Agent Prospecting pays your Facebook bill, pays your telemarketing bill, pays the wages bill, pays everything, all in one, handing you 20 to 25 appraisal leads a month. Agentprospecting.com.au. Head there now. And remember, before we get started, just helping to pay the bills and things, even though these should be considered gifts, not sponsors. And you know, you always have podcasts that sponsors kind of get on there and plug their stuff. Well, all of these guys are in the business of adding something to your world. A lot of the times these family members are offering you gifts, are offering you freebies, are offering you value far in excess of anything they are charging. So check out these guys, give them your time, because believe me, they aren't just normally like normal people having a pitch at your expense. All of these guys I've personally vetted. Check them out, and we'll see you on the episode. They say in the movie Highlander, there can be only one. Well, just like Connor McLeod, today on this episode, we are meeting Travis Denham, who's from the Southern Highlands in South Australia. And when it comes to real estate agents, this bloke, just like Connor McLeod, there can be only one Travis Denham. You want the normal real estate training you've been told a million times? Make cold calls, knock on doors. Best be switching off now, because in this podcast, we go out of the box using unknown tactics, primarily, that the real estate industry's never heard of, in order to get you called in more often, convert those listings, and get more success without the painful cold calling. Listen up, we're in for a ride. This is Real Estate Renegades. Folks, welcome to another edition in Breakthrough Agents. If ever there was a person who really fit that bill,
It's this guy right here. We're here always bringing you leading agents, picking their brain on what makes them tick, what got them to where they are, so that wherever you are, whether you're a rookie, whether you're an advanced seasoned professional, want to go to the next level, we got you covered. Travis Denham, thanks, man, for hanging out.
Thanks, Glenn.
Mate, this guy's just a legend from the southern suburbs of Adelaide. Mate, before we sort of get into a little bit of the, because we really want to give some very specific and very valuable things. We've got a room full of agents here that I've begged you to come and share with. So, but before we get to that, mate, give us the journey so far, as much as you sort of feel will be valuable, as to where you started, how long you've been in the game, and kind of what brought you to this, in your area, legend status to your community. Mate, give us a story so far.
Okay, thanks, Glenn. 5.5 years in real estate. Started Melbourne Cup Day 2010. I kind of measure in financial years. So that first 7 months of my career, I did about 80 grand, so about 10 homes, cut my teeth. Mm-hmm. First year, in that 2011, 2012 year, which was my first year, the second best agent in our company of about a dozen agents did 250 or 260, mm-hmm. and they were going for 280, and I said, I'll have a go at 300. And everyone laughed at me, and I did 268 my first year.
Nice. Put
on a PA towards the end of that year, went for 450 in my second year, did 452. Mm-hmm. Put on another.
Were they laughing as much then? Because you gloss over that, but that's a big thing. You set these goals, and everyone says, "Oh yeah, so good luck with that, mate."
That person that went for 280 did it, and then the next year they went for 300. And I went for 450, and they did 280 again, and I did 450. And now I was playing with the principal. In my third year, I went for 800, and I did 767. And he did 766, and then apparently on a count back, I actually did 765. So
I love that competitiveness, though. That's awesome, because it's iron sharpening iron. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So very cool.
At that stage, I had a heart failure thing and nearly died, and had to have some time out of the business, and had to go through a bit of change, and probably I expanded I guess for an average com of about 7 grand, 7 to 8 grand, because I'm selling. My average property sales about 350. It's a lot of transactions to do those kind of numbers, and I kind of burned myself out. And I learned some lessons, I guess, from quick success. And I burnt some, I lost a team member. And anyway, we had a bit of a restructure. The next year I wrote 600, but that was kind of that was last year. That was my plateau year. Yep. Now I've rebuilt the team. I've got Craig Thompson on board. I've got a double selling, we advertise 2 agents now. Yeah. So Craig effectively is my buyer's agent, but we actually advertise both of us. Yeah. I'm the lister. Craig, and I guess majority of the vendor management happens through me, and Craig generally works with the buyers. Mm-hmm. And that way, because what I found, it was myself and 2 PAs, and everybody wanted to know, why weren't you there, Travis, doing the show through or whatever? Why are you sending this? Why are you sending the assistant? Where are you? What are you doing? And it was when you're listing 25 a month and selling, 15, 20 a month, it's tough to be everywhere at once. So we've now got a 4-person team. We've got a really well-structured team. We've invested heavily into growth. And we're going to, this financial year, we're going to get really close. We've got 28 days to go. And we'll go close. We're touch and go whether we'll hit a mil, but we'll get very close to it. Nice. But I have no doubt that we're on track to write probably 1.3 to 1.4 next year with the momentum that we've had through this kind of last half of this financial year.
Love it, mate. And, mate, tell us about, because I know, we've been kind of hanging out and doing some stuff since, and we'll talk about the transition from kind of Travis version 2.0, which was really freaking good, to the new and improved you, and we're only starting to just now see those results of that after 6 months of kind of version 3.0. But tell us about what activities specifically we've got a few people who are relatively new in the game in the room. Yep. There would have been some things you did as a rookie that got you very quickly to that first year success. Yep. Some of those things you would probably still do again if you were starting out. Some of those things you might have done differently. Yep. What's some of those early year advices that you would give to our relatively newcomers in the game?
Yeah, sure. First thing, I always get I get a lot of people that are new in the business, because I do a little talk at the college as well. So quite often I get people from the real estate college that come and ask me, they're saying, who should I cold call, or how should I cold call? Ring everyone you know first, because the people that you already know already like you. And tell them I'm in real estate, and and have a conversation with them. And don't say I'm in real estate. Do you want a free home appraisal? You're probably not selling. Say this: of everyone you know, who's the person most likely to move next?
Oh, I love it. So, anyone listen to David Knox?
Yeah,
you spot that one? The great David Knox.
That is a David.
Best question ever, mate.
Yeah, I saw him speak at an event a few years ago. And
he's the best, man.
Yeah, of everyone you know, who's the person most likely to move next? That's the best question to ask. Yeah, and I did use Facebook a lot in the early years, and you and I spoke a bit about it, and you're now helping carry me to that next level of what we need to do in 2016 to really, because that is an absolute sleeping giant. Like, that's where I can see a lot of our growth's going to come from. But in the early days, I just had a page that was me, where I'd put my regular posts. I've got 3 kids, well, 3 now, but back then I had 2, and a wife. And I'm into footy and
a Frenzal Rom addiction. And
yeah. I like listening to punk music, and I'm just a regular, dude from the south. And but what I would post my normal stuff, and then every time I put a sold sticker on a board, I'd just put that up. And every time I'd get a new listing, I'd share the link to the new listing. And I made a conscious effort not to just become the real estate person who bugs people on Facebook, because I see a bit of it. Like a lot of people that kind of add you as a friend, and they're from interstate, and you go, oh, right, and then all they start doing is real estate this, real estate that, real estate this, real estate that, and I reckon to their friends, they go, see you later.
You're almost like that guy, and I've heard that sort of person online described as, when we were growing up, and I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, but you've got that friend who got into multi-level marketing, and no matter when you're with them, they somehow can figure out a way that multi-level's the thing they want to talk about.
Yeah, that's
right. You know what I mean? And you almost become, you repel friends.
Yeah. And in the early days, when I would post those sold stickers on the boards, I would get 60 or 70 or 80 likes. And, before too long, really quickly, it was 4 likes. It was like my wife, my mother-in-law.
Your PA.
My PA.
And you.
And me. And that was it. But you start running into people down the street. See, I stopped doing it for a couple of years, and I've just restarted doing it. I was getting my team to do it, to get their identity. But I've started doing it again recently, and all of a sudden, the comments, like down at my son's footy on the weekend, it's, oh, you're selling so many. Because I'm not selling any more than I was, or maybe, I have good months and bad months, but I'm just bringing that into their awareness, but I'm blending it with real life other stuff too.
Beautiful.
Because I think you've got to.
Yeah.
Because they're not that interested in real estate.
Yeah, well,
all you're doing is reminding them they're not that interested in real estate.
And definitely, this is the stuff we talk about, certainly at days like this. No one ever logged into Facebook saying, you know what, I wonder who's selling properties now. I know, I'll log into my Facebook and see.
Yeah, that's right.
Never.
Yeah.
They're on there to type LOL on a kitten video or something, So very cool. So those are the early days. So let's talk about, you had a Facebook presence early. I love the ratio of a certain percentage of life, kids and world and footy and Frenzal Rom and whatever, and then the odd bit of business so that they know what you do. It's good. How about other stuff? What other media did you use? Did you do the cold calling stuff? What about the calls? What about the prospecting? What did you do to get the biz in?
Right, so didn't do a whole lot of cold calling, but just found over-servicing buyers, and we earlier session that we spoke on in this room earlier, over-servicing buyers, always ringing them back every Monday, even if you rang them the Monday before and they said to you at the open that they don't want the house and you're busy because 4 of the other guys in the office are having a knock-off drink and it's 5:30 in the office and you want to go sit with them, but kind of still got 25 people to ring them and just say, look, I saw you at the open, how'd you go? Now, just double-checking, you're definitely out on that one. Yeah, look, I thought you were. And if they told you that it wasn't for them at the open, acknowledge that, but ask them if they've bought. And ask them how they're going, and ask them, did they see this one, and all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of these, because you've got to understand, I sell a lot of 250, 300, 350 properties in Morfett Vale and Hackham and areas like that. I do
the area?
Entry-level housing where you're selling to a lot of first
For the viewers, we were talking about Ipswich before, where I'm from, and they said in Trav's area it's this place called Hackham. So poor Hackham.
Yeah.
There'll be someone watching this from Hackham going, man, we're all right.
Good
I'm from Ipswich, mate. I'm with you.
Yeah. Most of them won't be watching it because their TVs are in cash converters. But anyway, no.
Hush.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was joking. I don't live far from there. Anyway.
Editors, edit that bit out. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm joking. I'm sorry.
He lives there. He's as bad as me.
Well, I don't live there. I live near there. Anyway, so So there's a lot of new first home buyers because look, traditionally in my marketplace, if somebody's got like in the early days, another thing I did, I spoke to my boss who had the most amount of business coming in and didn't have to fight for leads. Like his phone was ringing and he was probably a bit lazy and he admitted it. And he had 4 and 5 bed, 2 bath, double garage, 2 living area, $500,000 homes in Woodcroft or Flagstaff Hill or Shido Park or areas like that. And he let me come and attend those opens.
Beautiful.
Because the buyers that are coming through those opens are the ones more likely to have a home to sell. But equal to that, service the hell out of the first home buyers as well who don't have a home to sell, who, when I put one, like we were lucky enough, we sold 8 homes last week and about, I think, five of them sold at first open and all of those were under 340, right? They were all first home kind of stuff. And some of them had 6 offers. And it gets relentless, but you've got to service well and push out and make sure you ring them all because they've got mums and dads that are about to sell or friends from work.
Definitely.
And I find, I don't know, through another bit of advice I was given is if you don't have kids, if you haven't got kids, have them.
Have some,
Yeah.
yeah. The schools, man, yeah.
Our office is in a little Woolworths shopping centre, and in my early days, when you've been on the phone all day, or you've been hustling on the phone and you want a break at about 3:30, I'd go over to Woolies to get a bottle of drink or whatever. It's a perfect time to run into all these mums who've just done the school pickups, but, who you met at opens on the weekend, who you just they see you and you recognise them and you acknowledge them. Like you won't remember their name, but you just say hi to them. And here's another one. If they ever buy a house off you or sell a house through you or are pretty close to and you've had a lot of activity with them, save them. Because there's some people that ring me. I had a lady ring me this week, didn't she, Craig? She inquired on a rental property, like a house in Morpher Vale for 280 grand. I appraised her house 4 years ago. Her name came up as vendor of Upper Penny's Hill Road, like an acreage worth 800 grand. And I went, "G'day, Jackie," and she was blown away. And that's
nice.
that whole thing of,
Yep.
because before I got into real estate, it'd be that thing where you'd go, they might be saved, but you'd almost be too proud or embarrassed to go, I know who this is, and you're important, and I want to act too cool for school, so I'll go, oh yeah, I think we met or whatever, But it's kind of flipped that mentality on its head because you are a little bit of a pseudo celebrity in this game. You are, like, your face is in the paper and they come to the open if it's a busy open and you're the one controlling it and they're looking for information for you, and then if you see them down at the shops on the weekend and say g'day to them, because because in this game it's good to recognise faces, right? And if you recognise them and acknowledge that or say, "G'day, Jackie," when it's someone that's never bought or sold through you, but you didn't appraise it, like in my team now, because I've got a team of 4 and I've got a dedicated business coordinator who does all my computery stuff, and every appraisal I do, vendors get saved.
Yeah.
Everyone. I've
I
got
saw
like
flow
thousands.
charts. I was in your office yesterday and I saw the flow charts of where they get saved and how they get stayed in communication with.
And it's just about making them feel important, because that's it. All you want to do is if they have an interaction with you, you want them to like you. And if you're a prick, it's hard, but if you are generally a nice person and you put a bit of effort in, and I find it's so many people in our industry put effort into looking good and driving a BMW and having nice glossy things, and then when they actually meet you, they don't even, when you meet them, they don't even bother taking down your name or looking you in the eye at the open when you shake their hand. And a lot of this probably sounds really basic, but you hear it.
We did that in the secret shop exercise. It's embarrassing.
You've just got to respect the people. Respect the people and talk to as many people as you can. And I'm deviating all over the place. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good, bud.
Go to the school pickups go to. My son plays. I now sponsor the local footy club where my son plays. But I make sure I rock up there in my suit a bit, not all the time. And it's just that reinforcement. Because there's, at Ranella Football Club, there aren't many parents getting around in suits, right? It's, it's a blue collar area. And it's just them reinforcing, oh, that's that real estate guy. Oh, that's that, because it's all about them recognising you so as that when they decide to sell in 2 months or 2 years' time, and they've got a shopping list of 3, that you're on the shopping list.
Yep.
And then you've got to work on making
gotta
sure
be
you're
good.
better at converting
Yeah,
most of those
then you gotta
opportunities.
be good. Nice.
But one of the legends of Adelaide real estate, who you spoke of earlier, Phil Harris, I've met with him a few times, and when I was looking at going from 2 to 3 people team, because no one in my business, in my company had that at that stage, and he said you could probably work on Like the critical thing is you could work on turning your conversion rate from 7 out of 10 to 8 or 9 out of 10, or you could just talk to 20 people. And
Beautiful. I love that. And I'm surprised so few trainers do that, because that's, as you know, that's where I focus. I don't focus on getting you any better. You're fine.
Yeah.
I focus on getting you in front of double the people.
That's right. yeah.
Nice, mate. So tell me about, there's a lot of debate going on in the industry, and I cop it all the time because many of my guys go pretty hard in those early years. And I saw your work, I've been working with you for 6 months. I've seen your work ethic firsthand. What's your advice as far as the ongoing debate of work-life balance, which people are saying, you got to have work-life balance or you'll never make it to 3 years, versus you got to go hard for 3 years or you won't be in the industry or whatever. What's your take? And I know it's only an opinion, but what's your opinion on work-life balance and hard work in this industry?
There isn't anybody who's killing it that didn't push themselves to that breaking point in the early days, I firmly believe. Tom Hector, who is a $1 million rider, who is a young bloke, who's killing it in this town. That guy, I don't know if I should say this. It's been said on stage before. If you meet him, he's not the most personable guy getting around, but he's got the best work ethic you'll ever meet, and he just hustles and just works hard.
Wow.
And he's got to overcome those age objections. And he also is one of those freak experts on his area. We've got another one, a guy that works in our business, Scott McFarlane, same deal. Freak on his knowledge of, that house, you mentioned an address to him, and he goes, it sold in 2012 for this and that.
Wow.
It's out of control. But the work life, but you can't get that Scott's angle, or Tom's angle, is that pure market knowledge and that hustling, right? That's their angle. Mine's probably really good at leveraging my large networks of people I know, and I find probably my strength is just when I meet people, I really quickly draw connection fibres, as one of our other mentors talks to us about. I get those things that we've got in common. So when I walk into their house, I look at their trophies and I look at their photos and I ask them where they work, and fairly quickly
You're looking for the thing.
I go, oh, you work there, you know this guy. Oh yeah, bang. And then they feel comfortable with you. That's what works for me. But either way, you've got to work out what your angle is, and then you've got to work it bloody hard, because to have really strong market knowledge, you can't get that without putting in hours and hours and hours of doing your research. So for me personally, I went really, really, really hard for my first 2.5 years, and I went, to a 2-person team, to a 3-person team, to burn out, to nearly dying of heart failure. But they were unrelated, but
semi-related, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, it was a hereditary. It was something I couldn't avoid, but I was pushing myself.
Yep.
And then I had to take a step back.
Yep.
And now I run a team of 4, and I put this, another John McGrath quote is, put your systems in place before you need them. So I've always I went to 2 people before I actually was writing the numbers.
Yep.
I went out on a limb, because when you finally, my first 12 months in real estate, I earned bugger all. And then my second year, I put the second guy on, and then I was probably caught up to where we should have had to have 2, and I put the third on, and then I caught up to that, and then I went through to go to nearly 800, back to 600, and now up to 900, and we've 3/4 of our 900 has been written in the second half of this year. We only did 300 odd in the first half.
Yeah.
For us to do that, I've had to invest heavily. I've been working the hardest, and probably the cash has been the tightest for me.
Because you throw all in, you go all in,
Yeah, because we had to reinvest to ramp it back up.
Yeah.
It's quite a paradox at times. You're walking around,
$1 million performer.
Yeah, and
I get it, mate.
Could someone else shout me a coffee? But then
I think you got some takers here, man.
Yeah.
But,
so that's
testament to you, bud. And so just as we finish up, where do you see the present? And so if that was, I love it. And those principles, by the way, that Trav just mentioned, they are still as relevant now. Connection, being on the lookout, that when you're in that home and you're doing the tour, you're hardly even looking at the home. You're looking for the thing to comment on. The home will be there.
Real estate's not about houses.
Yeah. So tell me, those things are still true. Where do you see the improvements that we might need to make based on your experience? I know that we're working together on some of these things for yourself as well. Where do you see the now and the future of real estate as this industry moves forward, you know, with these smartphones, you know, look,
Yep.
they're on everyone's desk all around here. Everyone's got their phone there.
Yep.
Where's this thing going to be? Where is it now, and where's it going to be?
So is your question about how to sell the house better or how to get more listings?
Yeah, no, get more listings always. As we know, there's a listing-centric
Yeah.
podcast for real estate agents who want to be more successful.
Yep.
And in my opinion, at least for this podcast, he who lists kills it, lasts. You know?
Yeah.
So where do you see the future of interacting with clients, I suppose? Maybe not as much face-to-face, but on these devices.
Yeah, okay. So one thing that you and I are working on is this paid, like with Facebook. Like really learning and utilising how you can best and interact with your possible consumers, not necessarily your already Facebook friends, using Facebook, using Instagram, using Twitter.
Property
to a certain
videos,
degree.
I've seen a few of your videos.
Yeah.
Where are you seeing that as a media?
Property videos are huge, so that's something that we're doing more and more. Just in case of, we do so when you book an appointment with us, like an appraisal, we have two kind of wow factors that we try and do for our clients. Within an hour of booking the appointment, one of my team arrives with a pre-app kit, you know, with a personalised letter and, you know, all the information and whatnot. And then later that day or the next day, depending on when the appraisal is, Sheridan sends an SMS on my behalf saying, you know, really looking forward to seeing you at Tuesday at 4:30. Click this link to meet my team, and we have a 2-minute video introducing our
lovely.
team.
Yeah. So it almost pre-sells the fact that, you know, that objection you used to get, where are you?
Yeah.
That video pre-sells that as a benefit that you don't just get me, you get 4 of us.
Oh, when they watch it, you know too. A lot of them, like, and we've thought about putting like a USB or a DVD in the pre-list kit because some of them read the SMS and we're still tinkering with this. They don't know that that's a link that's underlined. Like the older ones don't realise they should be clicking that. But when they do, you know, because they get there and they go, oh yeah, Sam dropped that pack off. And they go, oh, Craig, like they're dropping the names of your team. And the other part of that video is to have a voiceover person talk up, because I used to rock up to an appraisal and, because, you know, like I'm pretty proud of my numbers. Like, you know, I'm selling this many and this is my average days on market and this is what it is for the average for your home and this is why you should use me. But it was all me telling them how good I was, and although I like that, they don't, right? So I found with the video, if we had a voiceover guy edifying you, like basically talking you up, and, you know, so the voiceover guy talks about, these are the awards we've won, and we're average selling time of 26 days, and, you know, this is our days on, I just said that, and this is our team of 4, and this is what can offer. When I walk in, half that's pre-sold, and I can just focus on them.
Beautiful.
I don't have to convince them of the. So that's something that you can do via an SMS or an email or, you know, a message link. So more of the video stuff and understanding better ways to utilise pre-existing communication apps like Facebook or Instagram and those. I think that's the future, because like I heard a great trainer say recently, like how many people when you go down to the bakery do you see thumbing through the advertiser when they're sitting down? Not many.
Yeah.
They're all on these things. So I guess it's trying to direct as much of our efforts into how are we seen in that platform. And it's a busy space. So, and I think if you're getting, because there's not many, because the thing is with our industry, it's a bloody, like it's a top-end industry worth millions of dollars. Like whenever they do the financial reports on the news, you know, the housing market's one of the main ones they talk about, right? But I still think it's an industry that's dominated by dinosaurs. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's an underutilized, like, to buy a Subway or a Boost Juice or whatever, they are so much further ahead.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with how to, and at the moment, and that's an advantage for the savvy agent who wants to get in there and establish themselves early in those areas, while a lot of the people who kind of control our industry are still playing around in.
They're catching up, they're
in the traditional formats, which are slowly in decline.
Beautiful. Before we let Trav go, we got time for probably just 2 questions, if anyone's got any, and someone better come up with some. So, hey, who's got one? Bill, yeah.
You run a team for.
Yeah, mate.
So agents, you pay them wages then?
Yep. So I've got myself and Craig. So the brand is Travis and Craig, right, or Team Travis Denham. But when we're on realestate.com or in our adverts, it's Travis Denham and Craig Thompson. Right, at the moment there's 2 phone numbers, it's about to be just Craig's. So Craig and I have an arrangement where he's a selling agent that came on board with me. So we have an arrangement where he gets a percentage of my gross commission. And then I have the 2 other PAs that are on a wage with some incentives that we build in for them too. But they're whatever we choose to incentivise on at the time. Yeah.
On a meritocracy basis.
Yeah.
So
correct.
Yeah, cool.
So
And
just,
certainly those-
sorry, the
yeah.
2 PAs are 20 and 22. One's my business coordinator, who's basically me via email, does all the contracts, does all the advertising, like organises all the proofs and all that. And I just pick up the phone and say, Sheridan, appraisal this time, tomorrow, 2, here, bang, and it's in our calendars, and the pre-app's gone out. And young Sam is dropping off the pre-app kit, and young Sam is doing building inspections and bank valuations and running around stuff for us. And a big part of what he's doing nowadays...
A million things for me.
yeah,
but you don't have time to do a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So Sam's you in that world.
Yeah, well, actually, the biggest thing Sam's doing, and I should have touched on this a minute ago, last night, like this happens to me about 3 or 4 times a week now. Last night, I had about 8 or 10 text messages back, and 2/3 of them were people I had saved, and a third of them were random numbers. And they were like, oh, thanks, Travis. Yeah, we're staying put right now, but blah, blah, blah. And what Sam does, whenever we list a house, or sell a house in a neighbourhood, we've done these these geographical zones, and Sam's painstakingly gone through, and everyone that we know that we've either appraised, sold to, or just met that lives in that geographical zone. So, for example, a big suburb like, let's say Happy Valley, that's about 7,000 homes, we've got that cut into about 3 chunks, and anyone who is in that zone, once we've sold it, he goes, how you going, Mary? It's Travis Denham here. Just letting you know, I sold this one around the corner for this much and it went really quick and I hope you're going well. And some of these people, because I don't get time to do follow-up calls, I'm appraising 45 properties a month. It's 500 a year, times by 5 years. I've appraised 2,500 homes and we're listing and selling the volumes well. I can't do the follow-up calls after 12 months to these people. But what we're now doing is I'm SMSing them, but I'm not doing it. Sam's doing it for me.
Yep.
And it's great. And all I do is then I personally reply to the people that replied to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful, mate.
Yeah.
Magnificent. So there's a lesson for you guys. If you guys don't know how to drive your CRMs, your system that allows you to do that, A, if you don't have one, contact the show and we'll get you one. But B, if you've got one and you're not doing that sort of thing, you need to learn how to drive your CRMs like a beast so that you can do that sort of magnificence. Because they don't know, once Trav starts personally, because I do the same thing to you lot. I'll put out a personal-ish text, you'll reply back, and then I'll reply personally, and you'll think the whole engagement was one-on-one. But it started off bulk, and I only talk to the 5% of you that come back. It's the way to go.
And
Good
of the
job.
95 that don't reply, there's a percentage of them that still remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, one more. Was there someone over here?
Sorry, was there someone else?
No, you're it.
I was going to say, knowing what you know now, knowing the numbers that you did in your year 1, and thanks for your talk today, by the way.
No worries.
Knowing what you know now, I suppose, 2-pronged, what would you have done differently in your first year? And I suppose, what advice would you give, say, your top 3 to someone starting in the now market, based on what you've just been talking about, to really get their first year in, or their career kick-started in real estate?
Yep. Get my database tighter. And the funny thing is, when I started, all these people that had worked, because the company I joined, there was a lot of long-term people that had been in the game a long time, and they all said it to me. They went, you got such an opportunity, get your database tight. And what I mean by that is, every person you interact with, get them in there properly with their wife's name and their Mr. and their Mrs. And if you've got their date of birth, because when you're doing the appraisal or when you're first meeting them, you get all this relevant information, you go out there, you try and win the business, you don't, or they're just getting an update, and then they go, too many agents are chasing the now listing. And what I've done, the amount of homes that I've seen come up on the market with another agent, I go, shit, whoops, I go, shivers. I appraised that 13 months ago and I hit it off with them and they just weren't ready to do anything and they just forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I remember I've heard an agent, I've heard this a lot of times, primarily on Facebook, go, oh, bugger, my client listed with someone else. And I think, wait a minute, your client?
Yeah.
Maybe in your mind, not in theirs.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And what was the second part of your question?
I just suppose, what would you have done knowing what you know now?
It's good advice about the
Yeah.
database, yeah. But
Yeah.
the second part is, what would you do now?
What would you have done, based on what you know now and what you've been talking about socially,
Yeah.
what you guys are up to, because I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
You know,
We can
what
sell you
advice-
that.
What advice would you give to, say, someone who's looking to really kickstart their career?
Higher Glenn Twiddle. Higher Glenn Twiddle. I'm just kidding, bro. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
We'll get some good guidance from a good coach is a good idea, but you don't have much money when you're starting out, right? So I can honestly say there have been times where I've had to ring the wife to see how much is left to put the petrol in the car because it's payday, and that was in those first 12 to 18 months of my career, and sometimes recently it's been like that because we have really heavily invested back in the business to get to where we are again. So it's just, you've got, in your early days, what I would have done probably more differently is spent more time in public places than doing as much phone stuff as I did. So I would have done more of that SMS stuff that I just talked about, and like I went past like two of my team, Craig and Sam, both went to Woodcroft College, which is in the heart of our core area, and I was driving past it the day before Mother's Day, and they had a fete. Oh no, it wasn't Mother's Day. Anyway, recently they had a fete on anyway, and Sam, our junior PA in our team, he was school captain there 2 years ago. They love this kid. 3/4 of the people that went, he was like the hero of the school, right? And now he's a junior of our team. And I said, get there with your name badge on and go for a walk through, because that'll get us a listing more than you ringing 40 strangers on a street of a house that we might have sold, because that's the stuff, that's the low yielding stuff. But I would have put myself in more of those kind of public community.
Love it.
Spot on.
I love
And
it.
you don't have to be the guy that's standing up. You just have to be seen there. That's it. You just have to be seen there. And then when you make that eye contact with that person you recognise, you have to say g'day. And guess what? I don't remember, I've been the guy that's seen someone at an opening and go, because my common thing always goes, I know we met, guys. What's your name again? And I've had people say, we're your vendors. And that wasn't good. But because, literally, I had that happen once. And but
I get it. When you
meet
deal
a
with
lot of
hundreds
people.
and hundreds of people.
I meet a lot of people, but what I tend to do is just make that connection with them and tell them, because I know where I met them or what they did. I know their kid was playing basketball for the Tigers or whatever. So, but no way I'll remember their name. So I go, oh, how you going? Is your little fella still playing basketball? And they know that you remember them, and you're the guy in the suit down at the community day where everyone else is wearing trackies at the yard sale or whatever, and you make them feel special, and instantly you're probably a good chance of getting a call out for the next 12 months if they're doing anything. And it's just all that stuff. That's
Mate,
what I find.
it's like music to my ears, mate, when I hear that explanation with examples of personal brand marketing at a community level versus prospecting. I just want to just kiss you, but you got conjunctivitis, so I'm not going to do that today. Mate, awesome stuff. Thank you very much. And guys, there's lessons galore there. Perfect execution of that. I love it. Mate, and as you said that about where your vendors, I tell you, it happens rarely to me because I do my best to follow your advice and kind of make sure that I'm connecting. I did that at a boot camp 6 months ago, really, where we kind of first connected. One of my one-on-one inner circle diamond member clients, his partner was there. Beautiful lady. Well, I'd just done a week in their business because I used to do a full week in people's business. I'd done a week in their business, and I did that. I said, "Oh, I know." And man, how offensive is that? You know what I mean? Now it was partner or whatever, but it killed me. So I went and over-delivered, man. I said to my team, deliver her the biggest gift voucher, because maybe it's excusable because it was a big 2-day, 3-day seminar.
Yep,
it was a lot going on. Maybe it was excusable, but to her, I saw the look on her face.
Yeah.
Crushed.
Yeah.
Crushed.
Yep.
And so I had to over-deliver, man. So I definitely know that as best we can, guys, don't make that mistake that you and I have both
To be fair,
made.
they were land vendors, so it wasn't like I was doing openings every week.
Okay, so I'm the only one that gets hung. You get an excuse. I haven't. Come on, man, be my bro, because I was devastated as well when I saw that look. it killed me, man.
Yeah.
So very good, man. Lessons from Travis Denham. Folks, that's another edition in Breakthrough Agents. This crew can go nuts. All right, so Breakthrough Agents, stay tuned for next time, guys, where we get another industry legend. Travis Denham, thanks again, my man. Much appreciated.
And remember, this episode was brought to you by agentprospecting.com.au. That's where our team of telemarketers, Facebook lead generation specialists, and other lead generation specialists in your area, we will do your prospecting for you, all bundled into one price. So there'll be no telemarketing wages, no Facebook wages, no Facebook bill. It's all covered by the one low cost of less than one wage of a PA, fully trained by me, generating for you 20 to 30 appraisals a month, all for the one low cost and less than the cost of one employee. So head to agentprospecting.com.au for this one. We'll see you on the next episode of Real Estate Renegades. Bye for now.
Wow. Well, there you go. I hope you liked the episode. If you liked that, then what you need to do is you need to subscribe. You need to get more of this craziness because we got more coming. I'm never standing still, and we've got so many more guests. We've got so many more strategies, more out-of-the-box thinking. So if you haven't subscribed, literally, you're like throwing away thousands of dollars. Because I tell you, if you haven't subscribed, you don't come back. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find you, I'm going to market to you, and I'm going to charge you for the very stuff that on this podcast we give away for free. So whack that subscribe button on whatever your favorite podcast weapon of destruction is, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.